everyone. From dramas and webtoons to novels, explore Korea's story with us. This is Who Reads Story. My name is An Sung-jin and I'm a reporter. And today we have a guest with us. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Shweta Salian. I'm from India. I'm currently a master's student here, and I also share my journey in Korea as a student and also just like share my love for K culture, whether it's food or like K beauty, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Great. Excited to have you and excited to talk about all sorts of things about Korea, especially Korean content or Korean culture today. So today we're going to be discussing about the Netflix series Squid Game Season 3, which has once again shaken the world following Season 1 and Season 2. And it ranked number 1 in 93 countries immediately after its release, which I feel like is quite amazing for a Netflix show. And it has actually reached about 60.1 million views just in the first week. And the Season 3 was mostly anticipated by a lot of our global viewers and Korean viewers as well, which is why we're going to be talking about Squid Game, the series, and more specifically Season 3 as well. So, Salian, I know that you watched it. What were some reviews about it? What did you think about it?
I mean, everyone around me has like mixed reactions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but if I talk about my own opinion, I personally enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like I didn't have any expectations about the show, and I just wanted to see how it ends.
Right.
Because the season 2 was like a build-up season.
It was kind of saying that we have more left.
Yeah.
Type of.
Yeah. So I wanted to see how it ends, basically.
And did you watch it right after the release?
Yeah, really. Because the thing is, I had to go to the Span event next day, so I was like stayed up all night, and I watched it completely, like binge
watched the entire series,
like on the day of the release.
Wow, the entire season.
Yeah,
on the day
of the release.
That's impressive. I feel like the way the director actually explains it within the series itself and also throughout his interviews, he talks about how the director Hwang, he expresses gratitude towards his fans not only within Korea but also worldwide, saying that I'm grateful to complete this 6-year journey, which I'm assuming this entire series took him about 6 years, from season 1 to season 3, and it really does feel like it's a global phenomenon. So, you know, for you, you've also watched it as as an international viewer. And for those of our viewers who haven't watched the season yet, if I were to briefly go over the main plot of Squid Game Season 3, in Season 2 starting from, protagonist Song Gi-un attempted a rebellion or a coup, but it failed, and the characters must engage in even more fierce battles to survive in this brutal game. The fighting environment has also confined the game as it progresses. Have you had any thoughts while you were watching this game?
I personally, when I started season 1, I thought it was going to be just like a survival game where people just
It's like the Hunger Games.
Yeah. But as I watched it, I figured out that it was not just a survival game, but every character had a story to tell. And because of that, people felt more attached, like personally attached to the character, and had some expectations, or like had their favorites who they cheered for till the end. I hope my character doesn't die.
That's true. That's actually a really good point, because I feel like there were so many characters that like even the viewers had their own favorite character that they could kind of support and, you know, give a lot of energy so they could actually survive through the series. And which game out of season 3 was the most memorable for you?
I think the hide and seek one.
The hide and seek.
But it was hide and seek, but for me it mostly felt like tag game, like the chasing and tagging game.
That's true.
And the game also made me wonder, if I was in that place, which one would I choose? Like, would I want to like hide or kill? Like, which one
was
is
better?
more? Yeah.
Right.
What would you choose?
For me, I think out of all the games, I was also gonna say hide and seek. I think I had the similar thought of you. I feel like I'd prefer someone to seek, because if you're hiding, it's kind of scary for you, because, you know, if you're hiding, you just have to be so alert. And hide and seek, and also like the classic Taekwondo game back from season 1, I feel like is also something that's very unique and very significant of Korean culture, which is why I guess within season 1 we kind of saw that it tries to feature a lot of these unique Korean games, like the Taekwondo one that I just talked about, that supposedly a lot of people, even though they're not Korean, they can kind of relate to it. You know, the season itself kind of explains how the game works, and it's also a survival game, so they give you instructions on how you can survive. So I feel like even for the global viewers who perhaps haven't known about the game, it's easy for them to understand. Even the hide and seek that you just mentioned. And if you were a participant, which game from season 3 do you think would be the most difficult?
Difficult.
The most difficult.
The mirror bridge one.
Oh,
because I'm
true.
afraid of heights. I
True.
cannot. Like, I'm a clumsy person, and even if I'm just walking, I will fall down or something. And if it's on a bridge and I have to look down, and even the rope, like the skipping thing, I don't think I can do it. I have no hope.
Absolutely. I think it's a challenge because you have to multitask so many things. It's a bridge, not just a bridge, it's a glass bridge, like a mural bridge. And you also have to do all these activities while you're on the bridge, which is why I think it makes it a bit more challenging.
Yeah, and I was even shocked when the player pushed the person.
Exactly. So you have to be alert of the other players.
Yeah.
You have to know how to play the game. You have to be aware of your surrounding.
Yeah.
It's just so many things going on at the same
I think
time.
I would be Junie. You should just like jump.
Jump in. I'm out of here. Might as well. That's so true. That's so true. Just gonna go to the comments and see if any of our viewers talked about something that they like. Let's see. They mentioned how they say it's a really representative content of Korea, which I think I do agree, which is why, again, you know, it has season 1 to 3 and it has a lot of global fame, whether people like it or not.
And also I think it introduced a lot of Korean traditional games to the
Absolutely.
viewers. For example, the first season with the like Dalgona game,
Right.
everyone was trying it. Even
Everyone
I
was
tried
trying it.
at
That's true.
I was in India when I watched the season 1, and right now I watched season 3 in Korea. But everyone around me was trying to make the
it really
at home. There were tutorials.
Would you say that Squid Game kind of influenced you to make dalgona? Or
Yeah? Because I didn't know about
About
the
it.
candy. There might be similar candies in India, but not just with coffee and
the way you make it.
Yeah. It was new for me. That's
Exactly. I feel like Squid Game presents a lot of things, you know, including Korean traditional aspects, but specifically in season 3, it also shows a lot about the theme of family. I feel like the theme of family becomes really prominent in season 3. You know, stories of sacrificing for the family, risking one's life, or, you know, actually putting themselves out there for their family, which I think is also a common theme among Korean literature and Korean films as well. You know, in dramas like Little Woman, films like Train to Busan or Parasite, family or the events surrounding family becomes one of the major themes. And this Netflix series also presents characters who are participating to kind of feed their family, to like sustain their family, which is heartwarming at the same time, but also brutal to see because, you know, they put their life out there. And it really shows that struggle between family and survival. Are there many works about the theme of family in your culture in India as well?
Yeah, I think not just many. Even if it's like a romance movie, it will be a family
Oh,
oriented
family.
movie.
Really interesting.
Because like I feel like India is very family oriented and close to each other, and they make those videos because they feel more relatable. For example, my mom, she never watches like foreign content. She has only watched Hindi movies, but when I showed her a K-drama in India, she was like, "Oh, I can finally relate to this because it was
Talking about
like
family.
Then
Interesting.
the mother sacrificed for the children
child,
and
right.
everything."
Interesting. I wonder if it's maybe like an Asian culture that it's so centered on family, you sacrifice for the family. The struggle between really struggling the family and the survival and all that, I guess, is a common theme perhaps in India, in Korea, in Asian cultures as well. But in this season, I think it expands beyond the theme from simply my family to this sense of universal love for humanity. The identity of the crying noise of the baby, actually, that a lot of people were curious about from the season 3 trailer was revealed later in the drama, in the Netflix series. And I guess the irony does really come from the fact that in a place where people struggle to live, where people struggle not to die, a new life is born as well. You know, there's like people dying on one hand, but you also see newborns being created, which is interesting because the game itself is created to kill other people. What do you think about the baby when it appeared and when it appeared?
The thing is, I didn't watch the teaser, so I had no idea
What it meant,
was like,
right?
It was all of a sudden.
Right.
I was like, oh, what is going
where is
to
this
happen?
going? Right. Exactly.
And I really thought that the baby would be killed right away.
Right away.
But then the others near them tried to protect. But at the same time, there were so many players that wanted to kill. I was so nervous the whole time.
It's really ironic. Like, people are out there trying to save their lives, but they also have a baby which they want to maybe kill, but also want to save, like, for the participants, for the players. Like,
the thing is, I tried to like keep myself in everyone's shoes, and even I was like, what would I have done?
what would you have done?
Honestly, I don't want to go to the Squid Game.
Exactly. I guess it is really interesting to see what the role the baby plays in the game and how I would have, or you would have, or we would have acted if we were in the shoes of any of the players. So, you know, if any of our viewers haven't watched it, watch season 3, and maybe you can actually feel what we feel, you know, and you guys can put yourselves in the shoes of other characters and see if you'd make a wiser decision, perhaps. I'm just gonna go through the comments and see if anyone has mentioned something. Oh, well, someone has said, oh, is Kangbo coming out? Kyun has changed a lot. I guess it's interesting to look into the characters across the different series as well. Now, Squid Game has been a series. It started from season 1, passed to season 2, and now it is at season 3. And I guess these seasonal dramas always come with an expectation, as we just talked about in the beginning. And season 3 did kind of come out with these mixed emotions, right? Amid all these expectations. Some said that they really enjoyed it, like you. Some were a little bit more disappointed, like myself. I think I enjoyed season 1 and season 2 a little bit more. What aspects of this season 3 of the Squid Game did you find good? What did you like about it? Or perhaps what were some aspects that you found a little bit more disappointing?
Like I said, I enjoyed the show, but at the same time, when I went online and I saw the reviews and why people were disappointed, I could understand.
Right.
For example, because while I was watching, I didn't like pay too much attention into what like things have. Example, the delivery part. And people were like, that is so unrealistic. How can like the baby be? Because in the season 1, it didn't look like she was like 9 months. Sorry, it's not season 1, season 2.
Right. And all of a sudden,
it was like delivery.
Boom, she pops out a baby.
Yeah, that one. And the second one was the detective.
The detective part.
And he just keeps finding the island, the whole show, and finds it at the end, but like it's of no use.
Right. Exactly.
So, I think he was one of the characters people anticipated a lot and expected a lot, but then it was like no use.
His role was so minimal. Like,
because people in season 2, people thought that maybe he's outside and he's like related to the front man, then he's going to do something. But he didn't like trust his partner in that.
Exactly.
So I understand why.
I guess the characters that we have more expectations for are those that we end up disappointing, get disappointed by more. And I see why there are some reviews that say that, you know, oh, I've been disappointed, or like, as you said, the characters weren't maybe as good enough. But I guess, you know, still the visual and content aspects of each of the seasons were still very phenomenal. And the dialogue towards the end of the episode still kind of resonates, I guess. So, you know, if any of our viewers, again, haven't watched it, please check this out for yourself. And, you know, maybe you can talk about it amongst your friends or families, whoever have watched it. And while these reviews are fairly mixed compared to the previous seasons, season 3 has achieved a unprecedented buzz in terms of viewership records, as I mentioned at the beginning as we started this episode. What do you think are the reasons as to why Squid Game is getting so much love or so much popularity abroad? Because there are a lot of these deathmatch survival stories like Hunger Games. There are other these survival stories, but what makes it so special? And I do wonder, you know, if a lot of your friends or maybe friends back in India actually ended up watching it.
Yeah, like the thing is, when I was in India, Like Hallyu was not that famous before when I used to watch K-dramas. And so people were like, oh, what are you watching? But suddenly everyone around
Everyone
me
watches
was like, oh my God, have you watched Squid Game? You like K-dramas, right? Have you
Right,
watched
that's
it?
true.
That's why I watched it and I truly enjoyed it. And like I said in the beginning, uh, it was not just a survival show. Like since season 1 till season 3, every character had like a personality that like people just picked, oh, this is my favorite character, that is my favorite character, I want this person to stay till the end. And I think
Right.
that's what made, like that's one of the reasons that made Squid Game so popular. And also the childhood games which people could relate to.
Right.
There were so many games that even Indians could relate. For example, I think in season 1, the marble one, we have a
Oh,
similar game.
really?
Yeah. I don't know the pronunciation of the game, like the Indian, but I think we called it like kanche, maybe, but it's not, the word is not in my language, so I can say it wrong, but it was similar. There were
Interesting.
so many games that were similar to Indian traditional games. I think that's why people in India too watched it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Not only do people really resonate with the characters that are trying to survive, but as you mentioned, for Koreans, they kind of get to see these traditional slash like childhood, excuse me, childhood games that perhaps they used to enjoy. Maybe for some of our international viewers, they could also kind of relate if they have any similar games, which is why I guess it's interesting that even though it's made by a Korean director, it's completely
Yeah.
based out of Korea, you have these international viewers and it gains a lot of fame and a lot of international
Right.
viewers.
I also feel like people, when the season 1 started, people were like, oh, they're just childhood games. We can just play
We
it.
can just play them.
Everyone can play it. But then they actually see how hard they can be.
Exactly, because they add challenges for every
Yeah.
single
like
time.
you do one mistake and you don't have a chance.
You're dead.
Okay, dead.
You're dead. That's survival. It's it.
Yeah.
Which is why I guess it's interesting. And today for our episode on Squid Game Season 3, we discussed about the theme of family and why it brought so much of a global success for our international viewers. And while it is just a simple Netflix series, I suppose, it contains messages denouncing society. It also talks about these other aspects that kind of makes it worth discussing among the people around you. And I hope, again, our viewers will watch it and maybe, you know, if any of they have watched it, they can share their thoughts in the comments, even after it's been released.
Yeah.
Do you have any final remarks for our episode today?
I just hope people like it like I like it. Because I wanted to talk about, I'm glad I got this opportunity because I wanted to talk about it, but everyone is like, oh, I wish this happened, that happened. So I hope you enjoy the show and watch it without having expectations because your favorite person will die.
Exactly. And I'm glad that we had you on our show today because you had some positive reviews, unlike what a lot of Koreans had, whether it was disappointing or maybe, you know, the need to find more aspects to add onto it. And that's all we have for today's episode on Who Reads Story. Thank you for joining me today. This was Salian. And is that the pronunciation?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yes. And thank you to all of our viewers as well. You know, leave likes and comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I will be returning next week with more interesting stories for our Who Read episode. See you next week. Bye.